Hey, this is Gloria, the pink-haired investor realtor from Indianapolis, and I have Mike Margarella with me today, one of my favorite investors, and we're just going to do a meet the investor, kind of get to know him, what his strategy is, and how things are going in his life. So welcome, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's go ahead and just tell us a little bit about you and Marie and what you do and just how life is for you guys.
Yeah, sure. So Marie and I are New York residents and we invest in Indianapolis. We had the opportunity to come out to Indianapolis for about 3 months earlier in 2021 to relocate temporarily and just be closer to the ground and be closer to some projects and our team. And it was a great experience, and happy to take you through it here today.
So any of you guys who want to just come move to Indianapolis, you can move here permanently, but if you don't really want to commit to it fully in the winters, just do like what Mike did. Just come here for 3 months. You'll get to know all the good food, all the good restaurants, and then can really not just use your boots on the ground team, but be boots on the ground yourself and really kind of dive into the areas. So tell us how that went.
Yeah, and we came in April until about August, so we were there for the best of the best. But it was awesome being on the ground, just being able to network with folks like you and other folks on our team, and walk through our projects, and just be front and center when things are going on with our contractors or walking new properties. It shined a whole new lens on analyzing deals and looking after your current projects.
So my first onboarding call with you, Mike, you said, I'm just putting it out to the universe. I want 10 properties this year. So how is that goal going? How has that changed once you actually came here and learned more about the areas, or, just tell us where you are in your strategy.
Yeah, sure. So we have 5 doors now, mostly sourced off market. We did a flip with you, obviously, and we have another flip finishing up now. And we're also under contract for a storage facility in northern Indiana. So we partnered with another Indianapolis investor, Paul Beats, on that project, and we're excited about that. It's a 32-unit storage facility on 2.5 acres. So our plan is, as soon as we close, we're going to put up a couple more buildings and add about 42 more storage units. And there's also some office space on the property too. So we're really excited about that. And although we still have 3 months left to hit our 10-door mark in Indianapolis, but we are trying to concentrate on some bigger projects and get more involved with stuff like that.
So you almost kind of really have a three-prong approach, right? Am I right in saying that, where you've got your single family, buy and holds, your flips, and then your storage units? Is that right, or is it more than that?
Yeah, that's correct. So our main focus is buy and hold and long-term cash flow. When we entered the market was hot, as it still is. So that led us to start flipping, even though that wasn't really what our initial plan was. And now, we're still interested in that, just to build or continue to build capital to deploy into other buy and holds. But yeah, we're still very interested in single family properties, and we've built out a pretty good team. So we have a pretty nice funnel coming in of off market and on market deals. And we always look at those when they come in. But for the most part, our day to day is trying to look at some of these bigger storage deals and trying to build out our systems and processes on those, and hopefully take down another 1 or 2 before the end of the year. We have another lead. So hopefully when this hits, we'll be under contract for that one too.
So what does it look like in 20 years when you're ready to retire? What do you want your portfolio to be, or is that still changing?
Yeah, that's probably still evolving a bit, but I don't think in 20 years we want to be in a space where we have, let's say, 120 single family homes. I think just the management that would entail, and the time that it takes just to do one single family refinance, for example. You could do the same thing on some of these commercial properties or some of these bigger properties. So I think our goal is to, of course, build out our residential portfolio, but also add a few other commercial properties to our portfolio. Hopefully a handful of storage facilities, maybe some bigger multifamily, and see where that takes us.
So why did you decide on Indianapolis? And then once you're here, you seem to keep continuing to grow here. What kind of drew you here and what's keeping you here with Indianapolis market?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, especially the second part. So as for the first part, I was drawn to Indianapolis mostly because of the cash flow. That's what I was searching for. And when I had sort of narrowed down a few markets that I was choosing between, I sort of did my own analysis, which I'm sure much of my own analysis is already baked into some of the statistics and those top 10 lists that everyone sees. But I just took a look at population growth, job growth, how the metro was doing during COVID, and factors like that. Like I said, probably all factors that are already baked in, but it's just for me, I needed to do it. And it made me feel comfortable with my decision. So once we did that, we just kind of went all in with networking and building relationships on the ground. We took a trip out to Indianapolis in 2020 before we came in 2021 for our longer stay, and just met some folks on our team and we were able to get started. So our trip to Indianapolis for a few months earlier in the year was super helpful in building all that out. And that really cemented the second part of your question, which is why are we still focusing on Indianapolis? And it's really just the relationships and the teams that we've built. We feel so comfortable with the folks on our team, whether it's you or our inspector or contractor or things like that. And even here locally, I tell people all the time, it's just easier for me to move forward on an Indianapolis property than a New York or a New Jersey property, just because I don't have the relationships locally. And it sounds odd, but we have a lot of trust in our team. I think we have a lot of good folks that we're working with. So we're excited to keep building that out.
So before we leave the Indianapolis subject real quick, tell us what your favorite restaurants were when you were here.
Pretty partial to Sun King up in Carmel. They had good food and there were a few different eateries scattered around the plaza there. And, they had great drinks and you were able to take them outside in that little plaza area. And it was right on the Monon. So you could walk the Monon with a drink. It was dog friendly. So it just checked every box.
Cool. So are you are you coming back again in a couple months? Are you going to definitely meet you up there at Sun King sometime?
Oh yeah. We'll be back in November for the Out-of-State Investor Symposium.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, so we're gonna do an extra episode on your Hamilton project. Little Hammy is what you guys named it. So we're gonna do a little extra about that. But just give us a brief overview of kind of how that went down. We'll go into that more depth later, but how my team helped you and kind of an experience that you had with my team on particularly that project.
Yeah, sure. So that was our first deal with your team, and it was a game changer. As an out-of-state investor, it's super helpful having the resources that you have. And so we sourced that project just through one of your hot property emails. It came through, and Charles walked through it and did a video, and it looked like an interesting project. So I got on the phone with you, I got on the phone with Charles, and I kind of got a little more information about what we were thinking as far as the rehab. And we put in an offer the same night, and we got it a day or two later. And we went to work on flipping it. And as far as the process goes, the couple months that it took us to flip, your team was super helpful just in going to the property, taking videos and just keeping me posted, and things that you guys definitely didn't have to do. So I really appreciated that. And I think as an out-of-state investor, that goes a long way in, checks and balances and making sure that your contractor's on schedule and things like that. So sometimes that's tough, and some investors might look to hire a separate project manager or something like that. But it's a great service that your team offers, and it's one that I didn't even know that you guys offered. So it's pretty awesome, and I'm just looking forward to the next.
So what's the future for Mike and Next Play Investments? What's kind of your future in Indianapolis here? What's your next goal?
Yeah, our next goal is to get at least one more storage facility by the end of 2021. So like I said, we have a pretty hot lead on one, so we're hoping to get that under contract soon. But next goal is just to keep thinking bigger, whether that's just, acquiring more single family properties or bigger properties in the commercial space, multifamily or storage.
All right. So why don't you go ahead? Because I know Mike is really, really good about kind of networking with other investors, telling them what he's doing. His wife, Marie, has been doing some blogging, doing some Facebook stuff. Go ahead and give us some like contact information for Next Play.
Yeah, sure. So you could reach us at nextplayinvestments@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook presence at Nextplay Investments. And then we have personal Facebook where we share all of our Nextplay information and all of our investment information. So that's just under our personal names, Mike and Marie.
Yep, sounds good. And they honestly like they name all their little projects, so that's kind of fun. They have a cool way of doing that. So so thanks so much for taking time with us today, and looking forward to doing some more talking with you soon.
Yeah, of course.